Welcome back to Good Morning Vail. Tuesdays, I love Tuesdays, and in part because of our new health and wellness segment that we are partnering with All Points North Lodge, and they're located in Edwards, and they're all about health and mental wellness. And here with me this morning, we have the clinical director. We have Abe Antine in the studio. Good morning.
Good morning.
So good to have you here.
It's good to be back.
And you know, there's a lot that goes into All Points North Lodge, and it's very much a comprehensive facility. It's not just treating one thing or the other. But one thing that I kind of have a question for you about is we've discussed a little bit on Tuesdays about the word trauma.
Yeah.
And to me, that means, okay, maybe there was like a big car accident, or I have friends in the military. Maybe it's something that happened overseas, but like a big event. And is that what you mean by that? Can you kind of?
So it's interesting that you're asking that, because trauma is so many different things, and most people, when they hear trauma, that's what they think. They think combat,
right.
PTSD, major illnesses, things like that, and that is trauma, and we do treat that. But really what we're talking about is the link between trauma and addiction and other dysfunctional behaviors. And that trauma is more of the complex trauma. So the trauma that you're referring to is singular events, specific events, right, that created significant impact that have led to stress, right? What we're talking about is more complex trauma, which is a series of events, right? Maybe not as large or significant as major physical illness or combat or injury, but developmental or relational trauma, childhood trauma, trauma that may not seem so traumatic, but over a period of time leads to significant impact. We refer to that as relational trauma or developmental trauma. Neglect or abandonment, obviously physical or sexual abuse, but more often than not, the trauma that we see and what we're treating and the correlation between that and addiction, a lot of that is more covert. Most parents love their children and have no intention of hurting them. Great example, I love my 6-year-old, right? He's my everything. I come home from work and I'm on my cell phone a lot. And, 1 or 2 times, not a big deal. But if I'm attached to that phone and he's looking for me to relate to him, that's neglect.
Interesting.
And over a period of time, that impact is very significant. And what that does, and there's other forms of that we can get into, but what that does is it really impacts a child's ability to learn to connect to others. It impacts their ability to be intimate. It impacts their ability to self-soothe, to regulate their emotions, their coping skills, because they learn all that from their parents in those formative years. So, the correlation to the addiction is, as this kind of neglect, or even worse, abandonment, is when, neglect is unintentional, abandonment is more intentional.
Gotcha.
That kind of thing leads children to self-soothe and regulate their emotions in less than functional ways.
Interesting. This is fascinating, and obviously, we don't have enough time to really dive into all of this. But if there's people that are watching and they're thinking, oh, okay, so maybe I could really use some help, but maybe they're not thinking I need 30 days or 60 days to stay in a facility, but maybe they're looking for something different. So they could maybe give you guys a call and just kind of
we have week-long intensives for people that maybe are not at a place where they need to check in for 30 days, right? But where their lives are in a place where stuff from the past has really impacted their ability to have healthy relationships. Those are some of the symptoms that we look at, anger issues, process addictions, they're working too much, their work-life balance is off kilter. For those people that are not at a place where they're addicted to drugs or they're at rock bottom, but their lives are not where they want them to be, we still can offer help. And we have specific methods and ways of treating the underlying issues that are leading to what the problems that they're seeing today.
This is so amazing, and thank you so much for being
Sure.
here. And hopefully we can dive into more of
Sure.
this on Tuesdays
I'd be
to
happy
come.
to.
But of course, we're out of time.
Wow.
There's just never enough time. Thank you so much.
You're
and
welcome.
if you want to get in touch with All Points North Lodge and see it, just if they can help you start your journey, whatever that might be, you can contact them at apnlodge.com, or you can call them at 888-329-6212. We'll be right back with another look at that local weather forecast.